Suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton appeared in a Houston courtroom today for a hearing in his securities fraud case. Paxton is accused of soliciting investors in a McKinney-based tech company called Servergy Incorporated back in 2011. Records state he did this without disclosing the company was paying him to promote the stock. Prosecutors argued he couldn't get a fair trial in Collin County, so the case was moved to Harris County. It's important to note here this is different from his impeachment trial.
And we have live team coverage on today's hearing with Marcelino Benito and Adam Bennett.
Marcelino, we start with you. Walk us through what happened this morning.
Well, Mia, Ken Paxton could lose his job at that impeachment trial next month, but what he's facing here in Harris County is far more serious. He could be looking at up to 99 years in prison. This was AG Ken Paxton in 2017, the last time he had to show up at the Harris County Courthouse as a criminal defendant. Fast forward 6 years, and he was snuck into the courtroom back before a judge as the securities fraud case finally starts to move forward.
I think this judge sent a message that no one's above the law and everybody's treated the same. And while you may get to duck out with your detail, and you still have to sit your behind in that seat like every other defendant.
Paxton sat in the front row while prosecutors and defense attorneys did all of the talking. Paxton was indicted back in 2015 in Collin County. He's facing 2 counts of securities fraud and 1 count of failing to register with state securities regulators. After years of delays over venue, the case will now be heard here in Harris County.
It's a good day for Texas because it's on the road to healing, it's on the road to justice. Finally, something's going to be done, one way or another.
The judge ordered both sides to return October 6th, after Paxton's impeachment trial next month. Prosecutors telling us tonight the outcome in Austin could affect what happens here.
The people all over the state, including the House of Representatives, is starting to see who he is and what he does.
If Paxton's removed by the Senate, his attorneys and prosecutors not closing the door on a possible settlement. His defense team says they still don't know if Paxton could get a fair trial in Democratic-leaning Harris County.
It's really impossible to lay odds or predict on what's going to happen in this case because history has not been a great teacher.
What's clear tonight is this case is picking up speed. Prosecutors have turned over 19 boxes of evidence, including CD-ROMs, dating back to allegations in an indictment now 8 years old.
I think today was the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles to make sure that justice ultimately comes to be.
Now, we should mention Paxton is also facing a federal investigation, and what happens there could very likely impact what happens here in this criminal case in Harris County. So the judge saying today do not expect this to go to trial anytime before January or February of 2024. Back to you.
A long road ahead still. Marcelino, thank you.
So what is next for Ken Paxton? Adam Bennett is here now in the studio to explain for us. Adam.
Well, Mia, both sides agreed to return to court on October the 6th. That's when they hope to possibly set a trial date. Paxton's lawyers told me that will give them time to see what happens in Paxton's impeachment trial. That starts September 5th in the Texas Senate. During our coverage earlier, KHU 11 political analyst Brendan Rottinghouse told our team he also sees a link between that upcoming trial and this separate case.
The impeachment story is really about them still having to collect a lot of that fact, and so this is going to be a trial where there's going to be a lot of fact, and so you're going to see people testifying, you're going to see witnesses discussing what happened. So these things are all going to be part of what the impeachment managers use as evidence against Ken Paxton. So I do think you're going to see this trial affecting what happens there.
KHU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe believes if Paxton is convicted in the impeachment trial, this criminal case here in Houston will be resolved outside of a trial. But if he's acquitted by the Senate, she thinks there very well could be a trial on these felony charges. Now, after today's hearing, neither prosecutors nor defense attorneys wanted to speculate about what will happen, but they did agree that if Paxton is removed by the Senate, these cases take on a different tone going forward and could impact the decisions that will be made.
Impeachment trial September 5th, about a month away.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
All right, both stories we're going to be following for quite some time. For a complete recap of today's court appearance, you can head on over to KHOU.com.